Facebook as well, which it is. So if you just want to quickly introduce yourself and introduce the car that I'll be drawing this evening, and we can go from there.
No, that's fine. Okay. Well, I'm Kerry Davies. I live in Northampton. I was 69 when I got my first Beetle. And the Beetle that you're going to draw is called Growler. And I called it Growler because of the engine noise. And I saw a story on one of Heritage's customer stories about an article, and hence that's why I'm with you, Ian, and you're going to draw, paint a nice picture of my car.
I am. Oh, I always love a Beetle as well. I think Beetles are like one of the most along with Minis and kind of Morgans and stuff. They're such friendly looking cars as well. So always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always enjoy creating a good Beetle. So, and this is, you know, a mutual friend, a friend who's also had I've had a chat with her. She's a photographer. So Callie has kindly supplied the image for this as well, which is super awesome. And this was, I believe, was this taken at Santa Pod?
Yeah, I met Callie at Santa Pod. She was going down the line in Show and Shine, taking pictures of cars, and I said to her, could she take one of mine to go in a magazine? I think it went in a magazine somewhere. And then my son got in touch with Callie, and I've now got on a room in the house about a meter long picture. That picture that you've got on a canvas.
Awesome. That's well, and soon you'll have a little drawing to go alongside it as well. So yeah. I'll quickly just explain what. So you saw this a little bit earlier. So I'm actually in the back of a car that's been converted into a mobile car studio, and I'll actually be at the NEC Classic this weekend, creating it. So I've been over to the NEC. I've unpacked some stuff. I've come back. I made sure the car's ready to draw in, and then tomorrow the car goes back to the NEC. And I'll be setting up and drawing throughout the weekend. So hopefully that explains where I'll be over the weekend. So continuous car drawings. So basically the entire outline of the car is done in one single line without taking the pen off the paper. And then once we've got that basic outline, I then over about 45 minutes or so, whilst we're having a chat about the car, then rework it and tweak it to make the image that you see on the screen here. So I can very quickly go through some of the previous heritage drawings. Been at lots of events recently, so hence why I'm scrolling back a little bit. But there we are. So you can kind of see the heritage logo there.
Yep.
And then you've got a Beetle. That was a traditional Beetle, as it were, a non-modified one. And then they got a Ford console, or console, a Porsche,
yeah,
Lotus Elite, a Land Rover Series 3.
That's nice.
VW Carmen Gear.
Carmen Gear.
Yeah, Carmen Gear.
Yeah.
TVR. I got old school TVR. It's quite a rare one apparently. We got an Abarth, so a 695. Abarth. It's a replica, so it wasn't an original, but it's made into the 695. And then you got Ford Escort RS 2000.
Wow.
And then obviously there's the logo. So yeah, so that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we're kind of done 12 or so over the last last few weeks. So I'm going to now get back to the image that you see on the screen of your car. There we are. Yeah. All the photos I take of various car shows and events. Be a lot more, photos taken in the next few days whilst I'm at the NEC. So hopefully, that all kind of makes sense to you. I'm just going to go and put the time lapse on and make sure everything's working. There we are. Just get the time lapse on. There we are. Lovely. Let's drop that down. Everything's working on the live as well. Brilliant. There we are.
Did we have somebody on from America here?
What's that, sorry?
Did we have somebody on from America?
Yeah, well, that was a. Yes, I've seen it. So he's got a mini, an original mini, like kind of the first gen mini. I think it's out in LA. So yeah, it's kind of an international audience, which is always nice. So if people do want to write in the comments and say hi, feel free. Normally I can see the comments, but for some reason I can't at the moment, which is unfortunate.
Callie's joined.
Oh, Callie's joined. Hello, Callie. Thank you very much for supplying the image. Very kind of you. Callie's a lovely person, very talented, creative, and artist as well. So yes, right. I'm going to start drawing the Beetle. As I say, I'm going to put the pen down. So in terms of your car history, what has it been? What's been some of the highlights or some of the ones that you've really enjoyed?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a Super Beetle, and some classic Beetle people perhaps don't like the Super. It's slightly more modern. If you believe that a car that's 50 years old is slightly more modern, it's got an improved suspension, disc brakes. It's slightly longer and slightly wider than an earlier Beetle.
Okay.
I didn't know it was a Super when I looked for it, but I like it. It probably suits a guy who's 71 now to have that little bit of extra modern stuff in it. Yeah.
So what makes is that when it came out from the factory, or what? So what's the history behind the Super Beetle?
Yeah. But the car that you're looking at, the picture you've got, the only thing that's not standard on that car, it was slightly lowered when I bought it. And the trouble was when I had two up, it used to catch on the ground.
Right.
So a friend of mine who used to drag race Beetles at Santa Pod, a guy called Mark Humphreys, has hired it about 2 inches. And so it's got a lowered stance. It's lower than my son's 1970 Beetle. And perhaps if I tell you why I've got a Beetle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It started back in 1992, would you believe, when my son was 16. And he said, "Dad, I want a Beetle." And I didn't, to my shame, I didn't know what they were then. I was a company car driver, a modern car driver. Anyway, we found a Beetle at the side of the road for sale. Mark come and checked it out. It was a great car. And that started the sort of Beetle journey in the family.
Okay.
In 1995, my daughter, when she was 17, wanted a Beetle. The same guy, Mark, took me to Coventry to show me a Beetle that was on a transporter.
What's a lovely city to go to? I mean, I would argue it's the best city to be in right now. So,
well, it was good for us because this car was just about to be scrapped, and Mark said I can do something with that.
Okay.
We took it home on the back of a transporter, and it turned out to be a racing green 1970 Beetle, perfectly standard. In fact, we got the car seat covers, myself and my wife. I think my daughter was perhaps in uni or at school or something. We got seat covers from America, and we fitted them in on our dining room floor with a hairdryer on the car seat.
Amazing.
So I had fun. My son was a lifeguard. My daughter worked in Waitrose part-time when they were in school. And they used to learn to drive in the bugs. So I would take them to work, but then I'd come home in the bug and then go back and fetch them. So I enjoyed driving Beetles, and people would wave at you and think it was my car, which was quite good, really. They then had to, as when you go to university and stuff, they had to sell the cars, unfortunately, and move into more modern cars. Then my son found American Cal look car. It was a Beetle. It had a sunroof, but it was a metal sunroof, so you had to unscrew it and put it on the back seat when you drove.
And the American cars are generally better because there's no particularly California cars where there's a lack of rain and it's generally sunny. The cars are generally a better thing to get hold of, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So he had a lot of fun with that. Fortunately, he had a daughter, my granddaughter Chloe, and he had to sell the car. We go, if we move on now to probably about 2014, we got the bug again, if you pardon the expression.
Yeah.
And I wanted to buy this car in Rugby, not too far from Coventry.
Just down the road.
It was in bits. Bits were lying all over the place, and it was a horrible colour. And my son said, "You don't want to buy that." So he found a car in Wolverhampton that hadn't been driven for 10 years. And to drive the car, just to test it, we had to put petrol in it, pump the tyres up, and I had to jump it with the clutch to get the brakes to work again.
Yeah.
And my son drove it up this, what I thought was a cul-de-sac, to just test it out. Bear in mind now, it hadn't been driven for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And I suddenly realised it wasn't a cul-de-sac, it was a T-junction.
Oh, no.
And is he going to stop? Are we going to, is he going to write the car off? Anyway, luckily it did stop. We took it to, you like this one here, we took it to a garage in Coventry called Voodoo.
I'm sure it's still around. I'm sure it's still around somewhere. I've not heard it myself, yeah. But I'm sure it's around.
Well, it's up a small sort of track. It's they're a bunch of VW enthusiasts. They bring back VWs from the dead. That's why they call themselves Voodoo.
I got you.
Took this car in to get sort of restored, and they changed the doors and they didn't put new ones on. They put old ones on, which was good. And it was a fantastic car. Still is a fantastic car. It's a really nice red colour, and it's a 1970. And the idea was that we would share it, my daughter, my son, and myself. And after a while, I realised that wasn't. Oh wow! Oh.
There we are. So all done in one single line. Started here, signature down here. So there is the start of your Beetle.
That is amazing. Gee.
So I'll crack on and make it the greeny blue colour that it is now.
Yeah, metallic green. Yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying this story because there's so much Midlands. It's very Midlands heavy. So you've been to Wolverhampton, you've been back to Coventry, Rugby.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. So I just then that sharing the car wasn't working. So we give the car to my son. We give our old Renault Clio to my daughter because it was a bit more modern than her car, and my son and myself would go off to Santa Pod and go to car shows there, Bug Jam and VW Action.
Well, for you, Northampton, Santa Pod is like the local meet area, I imagine.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic. So we used to go, we camp out, and first time I've ever camped, so it was great to be on the Beetle scene, but he drove the car, not me. So in March 2020, when this nasty bug arrived, not the Beetle, but COVID,
yeah.
And my son lost his job because the company went into liquidation before COVID.
Okay.
And he was struggling to find a job, as anybody was in that time.
Yep.
And I rang him up. I said, "Look, go and find me a bug, could you? I want one." There's been 4 in the family, and I've driven them, but they've never been mine. So after a lot of searching, he came up with this Super Beetle that we found. And we my friend again, this Mark Humphreys guy, to come and check it out for me, because I didn't want to go and get it in COVID, but they brought it to Northampton on a transporter.
Okay.
We had a test drive, and I decided, and at the age of, what was it then, 69, that was the first time I got my own Beetle, which I thought probably about time I got one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not shared. It's definitely yours. This one.
Fine, but now when we go to Santa Pod or we go to other shows, we go with 2 cars going down the road together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I think. Yeah, and to be able to share those memories and do it together, yeah. I think that's a it's something else I really value with my dad. He's being able to go and do shows with him and have that time. We're sharing that time together.
Yeah. So we went to Santa Pod this year, and it was because of COVID again. This was a smaller type of show, and would you believe I did send you a picture after the Cali picture, which was my car on the drag strip.
I saw, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually raced my son this year.
and who won? Who came on top?
Well, I did, but it's not fair. My engine is a 1600 and his is a 12. Yeah. And but what was embarrassing was at the end of the drag strip, you go through the aisle, and normally the cars that are going really fast go to the very, very end, and they put parachutes out to slow down and all sorts. And my son and myself had this drive of shame because halfway up they opened the gate for us to get out because we were so slow.
I will.
Yeah, and I've never been on a drag strip before, and as I was driving up to get in the lane, one of the marshals stopped the car, and I opened a window and said, well, what's up? And he said, I take it, sir, that you're not going to do a burnout. Bearing in mind the basics, standard car. I said, no. And he said, well, can you not drive through the water then? I was just about to drive through the burn zone, yeah?
Yeah.
But we went up the strip twice. I raced a massive American car, which I think by the time I got into first gear, he was at the end of the strip. But the second time down the strip, we raced each other. It was great. It was, that's the nice bit of the story, I suppose. If you look back to 1992 when he got his first Beetle to 2021, we end up, me at the silly age of 71 now, owning my first Beetle. It's been a good journey, and having this done today is another sort of, everybody talks about journeys, don't they? It's another jigsaw puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's I think it's brilliant that you took it on the straight, but you're using it as it should be, Yeah,
I use the car. It's they keep telling me to put the cover on because I haven't got a garage, and I keep saying, well, I want to keep driving it. I don't just want to cover it up,
Yeah.
I take it out in all sorts of weathers. You've got the picture with what I call the furniture on the roof rack.
Yeah, so you've got a little LED spotlight, and you've got some some nice baskets on the top. So what's in there? Is that kind of your lunch and stuff in there, or?
Yeah, it's just what they do. But there's another story there as well if you want to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
On the top on the left is a vintage suitcase. In the middle is a picnic basket, and on the right-hand side is a vintage petrol can in dark green, yeah?
Yeah.
My son and myself went to an antique shop, and on the 3 floors, we managed to buy all 3 items separate. Yeah? When we got them back to the car, we put them on my roof rack, and they just fitted with about a couple of centimetres between each one.
Yeah.
Which you couldn't have done if you'd have taken a tape measure into the antique shop, yeah?
So it's coincidental. So were these items bought for another reason, and you're like, actually, that just looks really good?
They were bought to go on top of the roof rack. They were the items I wanted to buy. I always wanted to put them on the roof rack, yeah?
Yeah.
Because when we go to it, I put them on. And Adam said to me when we got back to the car park, he said, I reckon we're okay. And I said, what do you mean? You open the suitcase and you put the wicker basket inside it. You open the wicker basket and the petrol can fits inside the wicker basket. So I don't know what the chances are of that, Ian, of that happening.
But yeah, it works. It looks great. So does the little light work as well? Is that plumbed in, or?
Well, no. To be honest, that was there when I bought the car. No, it's not wired up. It's probably illegal if it was, I would think.
Yeah.
But it just makes the car look just different.
Yeah, it's great. I think it looks really cool. It looks. I mean,
Yeah.
my car's got a roof rack on it, and I think cars look better with a roof rack full of stuff.
Yeah.
I think it just looks cool. So
yeah.
So it's,
Looking at you, turning with my head right. You know, it's really good.
take it. There we are. It's taking shape. Taking shape so far. Get in there. Get in there. So yeah, so no, it's an awesome story with it. So in terms of obviously you've not had it too long because you've had it during lockdown. So are you planning to take it on some trips? Are you gonna take it down to kind of Cornwall or anything like that? Or
well, yeah, I hope my son isn't on the link, to be honest, because he wants to go to Drive to the Sun, which is to drive to Newquay.
Yeah.
And he's done it in his first Beetle, which I'm not quite sure I ever found out that he actually went there, but he admitted that he had driven. I'm just worried that a 50-year-old car, which was what it'll be next year, will it make it to Newquay back? And he's assured me that both cars will. So perhaps watch this space.
Yeah, well, and I think it's its natural habitat down in Newquay. It's kind of, you kind of see so many VWs down there. It's I think it would be fitting beautifully down there.
Yeah, well, if we did go, I would buy a surfboard to put on before we went.
Oh yeah, you need the surfboard on the roof rack for sure, definitely.
Yeah, it's made for it. Yeah. So I'll probably try and do that.
Yeah.
Ian, bad news.
What's up?
My son's on the link, and he says, "Yes, I am up for Newquay."
There we are. You see, and now you've confirmed that you want to do it. So yeah, you've that's like a contractually obliged to you're taking the Beetle.
It sort of looks that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if Adam has spotted though that there's a classic motor show at the NEC this weekend, and you're going.
I'm there. I'm setting up one with Paddock Life, who are our publishers. They're so all the drawings eventually they're going to be in a series of books. So the company who are publishing the books I'm with, so they've got a stand and I've got a stand kind of next to them with them. So I'll be creating over the weekend and taking commissions and doing all. I've got a bit of a backlog of orders to get through as well. So
I don't know if Adam's free on Saturday, but we might be coming over. I think I coach football on a Sunday, so as you found out last night, I think.
yeah. I got my. I'm very good at getting my days muddled up. So I was all ready at 7, like ready to. And you were like, I'm in the field. I'm like, oh yeah.
That was an interesting phone call on an Astro pitch when the boys were just turning up, and you said, "Are you ready?" And I thought, no.
No, it was all right, and I made sure everything was. It's always better to be a day early, though, isn't it? So.
Adam's just come back up. Apparently, Drive to the Sun is not happening until 2023, so the car will be 51 years old by then.
Well, you just maybe you have to do like a pre to make sure it does it on that. You maybe have to do like a pre-journey. To make sure. Then the following year you'd be like, oh well, we did it last year anyway, so it definitely works. It'll be fine. Yeah,
it'd be good. Would be good.
Yeah, it's I all I'll say is just be careful of weaver fish. If you do put your feet into the sea, the weaver fish do catch you out, and they don't half hurt. I tell you that. So
yeah, I've heard of those. So I don't think my daughter's on. Helen, I call her H. I don't think she's on. Otherwise, she'd be saying, "Can I come in the back?" Or we'll strap her on the roof rack.
Make it a family. It's a full-on family trip then. So. It's I think it'd be great. It'd be great. So it's so in terms of the other your other car history. So obviously you kind of set do you think this is going to be your forever car? You're going to keep this? Is this the Beetle for you now?
Well, I hope so. I'd like to. I think going back to you talked earlier about minis. When I first met my wife, she had a mini pickup. If you ever know what one of those like, yeah. We had a honeymoon in the mini pickup in those days. You didn't have the honeymoons people have these days. And I suppose I've got 2 cars that I've driven in my past. One, my bosses bought an Audi Quattro each.
Oh, nice.
And they let me have their old Capri, which turned out to be a 3-litre automatic Capri.
the values of those have really they're skyrocketed now. Like a Capri is,
it wasn't very well after I put it in a ditch near a tree on bonfire night one year, but that's a different story.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll gloss over that one. We'll gloss over that one. So.
But perhaps the best car I had, which was a company car, which was a BMW 325 coupe.
Nice.
And that was a driver's car. It wasn't any good for passengers because you're very uncomfortable in the back, but that was a good car.
Yeah, I mean the car I'm currently in is no good for passengers at all because there is no seats other than driving seats. So it's a very antisocial car that I created. So it's it's always driving solo because all the seats were taken out when it was converted. So
what have you got then?
Yeah, well, this is a Chevrolet Spark. This one is so it's a little. I've had it from new, and it's got a bit of a history behind it. So I kind of like that it's a car that you'd never think is converted into a studio. And when all the doors are shut and the lights are off, you'd never know what's inside. So it's
brilliant.
I kind of like it, but I've got a van as well. I've got two vans, and I've got other vehicles. I've got a Morgan three-wheeler.
Oh wow!
And I've got a Vauxhall Chevette being restored. So yeah.
Right.
So that's.
I drove a car once which had just a driver's seat in.
What's that? Sorry.
I drove a company car once that only had a driver's seat in to go from Tamworth up to our other unit.
Okay.
I don't suppose you could remember or even think what car that was.
No, I can't think. So what was that?
Reliant Robin.
Oh, of course. I know the guy who's written a book about those. Actually, he's a designer at Morgan. He's written Andy Plum, I think his name is.
Right.
He's just written a book all about Reliant Robins and the history of them. And he's got a beautiful orange one. But he's also a designer at Morgan, which is equally pretty cool. So
we went from Tamworth to Shenstone on business for the company because I work for Reliant. They give you a Robin to drive up the road in, and the one I went in had just won a driver's seat, nothing else. Ever so fast on his straight line, wouldn't want to go around a bend.
Yeah, well, there's that quite well-known clip on Top Gear, isn't there, where they topple one over and go around a corner. So it's but yeah, with a Morgan three-wheeler, you kind of think, oh, it's going to be unstable, but actually a Morgan three-wheeler is really cracking to drive because it's so low and it's so where the weight is and how it's powered. It's a lot of fun, really. So
it's a breeder car to a Reliant Robin. I don't think you should talk about it in the same sentence.
It's got three wheels. That's about the similar where the similarities end, really. So it's So are you planning to do any more modifications to it or change it at all, or are you going to keep it as it is now?
No, I think I can keep it as it is. We my son, my daughter, and myself, we like standard Beetles. Yeah, we try and keep them as standard good. I don't think I need to do anything to it. It's would you believe it's got Bluetooth radio, so I can use the phone in the car.
Really?
Which in a 50-year-old car is not bad, but I don't think the radio was standard, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think in 50 years ago.
Is that so? Next time you go up the Santa Pod strip, you can listen to the radio and be a bit more chilled out.
Well, because we hadn't been on the trip before, we were in the pit lane waiting to go, and I was asked to take all my furniture off the roof rack and put it in the car. I tried to go up the strip with a suitcase on and the petrol can on, and they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I think you don't want those falling off. Yeah, you source them. You don't want those going loose anywhere. Just add in the number plate.
I'm intrigued how you can do this and talk at the same time. It's amazing.
Well, I've only done 500. Yeah, well, I don't know. I've done 1,000 and so it's over 1,100 drawings now.
Wow.
Since March of last year. Because prior to COVID, I painted with paint with radio control cars. So that's my.
No, I'm amazed with that. I've seen some of that on your Instagram, and it's just amazing how you do that. I like the bit where you said that I think it was your mum give you a radio control car and said when you go down to the studio, don't get it covered in paint.
Yeah.
And you actually, is that how you started?
Yeah. So I was given a radio control car, and I was told don't take it down your studio and don't get paint on it. So. That's kind of, and it's, I mean, and drawing, the drawing element of my work started because, well, we were told by Boris to work from home and that's because my studio was shut. I was like, well, I've got to work from home, and that's what I did, and that's where this series started, and then it just became the thing that I now do most of the time because every time I go to an event I'll pick up orders, I'll take commissions, and it's just gone from there. But as I'm sure the car community is such a diverse thing, and every vehicle I do is it's never going to be the same as another one. So there's everybody's got their characteristic, and every car has its angle or quirk to it. So I just now. I will go back to the paintings. It's just at the moment this is I've got a limited time between now and Christmas to get everything done. so it's just because what you'll also you'll get the original drawing, and then you'll get a couple of mugs with it on, and you'll get a T-shirt with it on as well. So
that'll go to Santa Pod next year, definitely the T-shirt.
I look forward to it. What you have to do is get Callie to take a photo of you with the T-shirt with the car, and then it'll be like
they're in Santa Pod. Yeah, that'd be good. That would be good.
Did you as being in Northampton? Did you ever go down to Rockingham as well? Did you ever have a chance to go to Rockingham?
Yes, Adam took me there. He got a free trip. I forget. I think he was with Peugeot. And he was taken. I think he drove around the track, and unfortunately, I was just left in the cold watching him.
that was nice of him.
Yeah. Apparently, I wasn't allowed to drive, but there you are. He did. So
yeah, it was a great track. It was great to spectate from because you could see the whole track. That's what was great about Rockingham. So.
Really? You were in Manchester, weren't you?
Yeah, I did the late break show live with Johnny Smith, who's equally a bit of a Beetle. He's got a classic Beetle. His classic Beetle there as well, and that was good. Yeah, that was his. So he's developed his YouTube channel, and they did it was in the old. There's an old train station, I believe, which they've now it's been a exhibition hall for many years, but it looks really nice because it's like Victorian and old looking and whatnot. So I don't do many northern shows, so it was really nice to go to Manchester. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was sorry I interrupted you because you picked up the phone you said, "Yeah, I'm in Manchester. I'm just doing a show."
Yeah, no, it's it's not a problem. It's I'm on the road quite a lot, so it's not a problem at all. But I think I just arrived. From memory, I just arrived, so I was just getting my bearings of what was going on. So right, I think we're pretty much there. I might just do a little bit darker underneath the hood, as it were, or the front bonnet. Bit of blue. I'm looking for bit of dark blue. But yeah, so if people are planning to come to the NEC, I will be in Hall 3 with Paddock Life magazine, or Paddock Life, or Paddock the Speed Shop. I'll be there, so I'll be posting some photos tomorrow.
Adam hasn't come on to the link to say that he's coming on Saturday yet, but he's probably busy.
Yeah, it's looking like a really good show. Certainly, it's going to be full, so it'd be nice to see. It's always nice to see car folk So just do that and then that. There we are. I think we're pretty much there. I think it's 1-1. I think it's 1-1-0. I think it must be 1-1-10. I think it's 1-1-10. I think in the series, or 1-1-1, one of the two. So, but there we are. There is your Beetle as a continuous car drawing.
That is amazing, Ian. That is brilliant.
Hopefully you can see that on the screen. And thank you very much, Callie, as well, for supplying the image. That's super kind. And obviously, Heritage Classic Car Insurance are continuing to do these. I think we've got a Ford one next week. So yeah, either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what day is available. I do a live and do a live chat, and it's been super awesome to speak with you. And I'll get this posted on the internet so you can see it properly as well.
Super. Thanks ever so much. I'm really, really pleased with that. It's superb.
No worries, mate. Well, thank you. So it's been awesome to chat, and it's great that this bug is taking up the strip as well to get its top speed, even though it can't have the boxes on the roof.
Heritage Car Insurance just come on and says it looks amazing. So we've been a customer of theirs for all 5 cars because they do classic car, guaranteed price. So. We've used them a lot. They're a great company.
Awesome. Well, we'll be sending you through the original drawing, some mugs, a T-shirt, as well. So will that be in the post in the next week or so?
All right. Well, thanks for your timing, and that's amazing. Honestly, it's really super.
Thank you so much, mate. We'll speak soon, and take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.